My friends in Canada and the United States, this is a warning. Today, No Zone Action Day issued due to high ozone levels. Ozone kills 13 million people every 12 months. It's time you took an interest in ozone. Do it for yourself, and if not, do it for me. The Indianapolis Office of Sustainability has declared a No Zone Action Day for Thursday, June 12th. Warning of unhealthy air quality for sensitive groups. The elderly, people with existing conditions, and children. So everybody gets it. Don't you see what's going on? There's no such thing as a vulnerable group when it comes to toxic, poisonous gas. Everybody gets it. Forecasted high temperatures, sunny skies, light winds, and wildfire smoke are expected to combine with urban emissions to create elevated ground level ozone levels, artificially enhanced and redistributed ground level ozone, which are particularly hazardous for vulnerable populations. Nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. You're all vulnerable. Do not exempt yourself from susceptibility to poison gas. You're all vulnerable. Every single one of you listening to this recording. Yeah, well, do a search and find out the health problems associated with ground level ozone, and you'll take an interest in this pretty damn quick. When your kids have a hard time breathing, and ozone damage is permanent, when you're damaged from a high ozone content, it stays with you the rest of your life. Reduced lung function. Ozone burns the soft tissue in your lungs. It attacks it vigorously, and you will receive what's called or referred to as a sunburn on your lungs. If you can imagine what that feels like. Ozone kills people. This is all nonsense. You see, we're told everything under the sun except for the truth. The truth is, ozone in your atmosphere has been artificially enhanced and redistributed. It's about taking over the world. The only people, there are only, everybody's playing along, but the people on the top know exactly what's going on. You're being exterminated with ozone. Ozone is in abundance in our atmosphere. All one has to do is convince you first that there's a hole in the ozone layer, that there's none left, and it's your fault. And now, today, ozone is being used against you. We have, in fact, way too much ozone. This is a psyop. You were made to feel guilty that you destroyed a so-called ozone layer when nothing is further from the truth. Ozone has been looked at for over 120 years as a possible warfare contaminant. These guys know that you know very little about ozone. It was intentional. Dr. Tedros himself knows it's ozone, according to his own statements. Dr. Tedros changed the name of ozone in 2020, March 11, and called it silent corona. Dr. Tedros is already guilty of changing the name of cholera to watery bowel disease when he was the health minister of Ethiopia. So we know he's a liar. We know he's a cheat. We know he's on the worldwide terrorist watch list. Worldwide. And today we're still talking about ground level ozone. Am I right, or am I just imagining this? Am I right, or or am I imagining this? I need help, man. You've got to help me, ladies and gentlemen. Ozone. Am I imagining this? Am I way ahead of this story, as I suspected after, Ozone generator market opportunity. See, ozone is all the rage, folks. You're going to get ozone coming out your ears. Chemtronics, Corotech, Dell, Ozone, Faraday Ozone, Oxazone, Primazone, and more. And we have ozone alert days all across the U.S., all across Canada, all across Europe, all across South America. Everybody's getting ozonated for some reason. Don't you think you should look into it? Maybe somebody's actually responsible for the problems we have right now in regards to ozone. It's absolutely clear. We know who these people are, I think. But you're not going to get me to say it. Because they know, I know, they know, I know. So what do you want, right? Ozone news. Today, no Ozone Action Day at the top of the page. So Indianapolis is suffering from ozone exposure. Ozone kills 13 million people every year. So you better listen up, my friends in Canada and the U.S. across the border. I've been to your beautiful country, and I'm sure you've been to mine. And we deserve a rest. We should be able, at least be able to shake hands and tell each other to have a good day. So I'm telling you and my friends in the United States over the border, my friends in Northern Ontario, north of, anywhere a few hundred miles north of here, you're suffering from ozone exposure. It's all the rage. Ozone was actually being promoted a couple of years ago as the sanitizer of the 21st century. Don't you see what's going on? They're using ozone in the sky above your head. It's being promoted as the sanitizer of the 21st century. We know it kills 13 million people every year already. We know that. The last 50 years, the ozone story was a guilt trip. We were supposed to feel bad because we destroyed the ozone layer. There's a hole there and there's no ozone left. Meanwhile, these guys are actually using the ozone that you were told doesn't exist. They're using it to kill you. They're drifting it in overhead, artificially enhanced ground level ozone. It's being done in the sky above your head, 500 feet off the ground, as far as I can tell. The entire operation was videotaped. There's no dispute as to what's going on. We just don't know who's doing it or who's playing along. We have to try and sort that out. Who's doing it and how much did they get paid? Forecasted levels of ozone prompt Clean Air Action Day. This is in the United States. In Canada, you're not allowed to mention the word ozone. It's as simple as that. Ozone, the word itself, hasn't been said in the Canadian media for over 3 years. Don't you see what's going on? Ozone was making you sick when they announced Silent Corona. It was already ozone doing it. They changed the name of ozone to Silent Corona. That's all they did. And today, Clear Air Action Day, Ozone Alert Days in Indianapolis, Colorado, Minneapolis, Texas, Toronto, Calgary, and Montreal, and Vancouver all have the worst air pollution in the world in regards to ground level ozone. The gas I'm telling you that's being used against you. You've been told for 50 years it's good for you. And there's nobody that can prove that. On the other hand, I can prove to you within 10 seconds that you can't inhale ozone. It's very easy to do. I can do that in 10 seconds for 1,000 people at a time. I can show you. You sit down in front of an ozone generator, I turn it on, and you try to breathe. It doesn't work. You can't breathe. It doesn't work. You're not allowed to breathe. Your body won't let you. Your brain will stop you. Your brain will make you run away from ozone. That's how bad it is. You've been told it was good for you. You've been told there's a big hole there. See? Is the ozone hole causing climate change? Listen, this is all bullshit. How does a hole protect? How does a hole fix itself? Why is this blue? Ozone is blue. If there's a hole there, it should be brown. What the fuck is going on? Are they lying intentionally to you? Have they been doing this for at least 50 years? Yes, it's absolutely the case. These people found out a long time ago that ozone could be used to exterminate the surface population. So they convinced you that there's a hole, they convinced you that there's none left, and they convinced you that it's your fault. You're guilty. Meanwhile, they're using the same subject the opposite way. They're using it actually to kill you instead of help you. These guys are monsters, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget it. This is like looking at a vampire movie. That's what these guys are doing. Same thing. They drew you in with the promises of good health and all the rest of that shit about this ozone story. More ozone is better. No, I'm afraid it's the wrong way. Less ozone is better. If the UV rays become bad, then you put on a fucking hat or you stand under a tarp. God damn it. What's wrong with you? When ozone is bad, you have to wear a fucking mask, a full face mask. I promote these face masks. I insist everybody have one because you're going to need it. These guys are fucking monsters, ladies and gentlemen. 13 million. Are you capable of killing 13 million people every 12 months? Can you do that? Somebody's doing it. The ozone that we have today at ground level is way too strong. Something happened. We were lied to, obviously. Connecticut now. Here's what to know. Don't go outside, it's going to say. Ground level ozone is expected to affect the air quality across most of Connecticut. When was this? June 4th. Ladies and gentlemen, you better get your shit together. You better start talking about this. Because your neighbors is going to start getting quiet. What I mean by that is people are going to start falling away. When they fall away, you're not going to be able. There's going to be no answers. You know, you can imagine somebody dying from ozone exposure, and the coroner shows up. He says, "I don't have a clue what happened. I don't know. I can't imagine why this person died." Right? Ozone is very strange. Once you affect somebody with ozone, it blows away in the wind, and turns back into oxygen. So it's like the silent killer, silent corona. Ozone is silent corona. You were lied to. I have the proof of it. I have proof that you were lied to about silent corona and ozone. I have the proof that Dr. Tedros lied to you. I have the proof that ozone records are being deleted. I have proof that the Canadian government is deleting weather archives, including ground level ozone archives. I have the proof that the UN changed the name of ozone to silent corona. I have the proof that the Montreal Protocol, the EU, the EPA, and the WHO and the WMO were all involved in changing the name of a gas in our atmosphere, ozone, to silent corona. They changed the name and told you it was a disease. It wasn't. It was not a disease. You're simply lied to. The sooner you figure it out, the sooner you're honest with yourself and say, maybe that guy in the video is right. I know I'm right. You'll find out, unfortunately. So keep this in the back of your mind. Keep it plugged in. When the air stinks, get the fuck out of there. That's all I can tell you. Ozone pollution is getting worse, and increased wildfires may be to blame. The wildfires, in my opinion, are to cover for the ozone exposure that you're getting now. The ozone is essential. They want to hurt you. So they will set fires in order to mask the smell. In my opinion, that's what they're doing. That's what these fires are about. It's as simple as that. Whoever's doing this is a madman. Sustainability underestimated global health risks of current ozone pollution. That's fucking serious, folks. Elevated ozone levels. Mitigating climate change. Ozone pollution. 1.5 million drivers told to avoid gas stations. No Zone Action Day in Indianapolis, Indiana. They're telling people don't go outside because the air will make you sick. Surface ozone formation. Could ozone layer recovery? That's nonsense. When was the last time you heard of a hole fixing itself? That doesn't happen. That's a non-issue. There's no such thing. But the people at the top are skilled at finding the middle ground on a subject and staying there and then shifting back and forth when necessary. They're rotten. The words, we're talking literally about words being used to kill you. They're words. How do you organize? How do you lay out the words? It's words that are killing you. It's actually words. They changed the name of ozone to silent corona. So it's actually words that are killing you. And silent corona is ozone exposure. Ozone is ozone. But the UN and the WHO got together and changed the name of it to silent corona. I have proof of that. ChatGPT actually admitted that. Live. I have it live, recorded. There's no getting away from it. These guys are lying through their fucking teeth. Whoever runs the world knows ozone is killing you, and that's the intention. 999 people out of 1,000 will tell you that ozone is good for them. And even if you put an ozone generator in front of them, turn it on, and get them to inhale, and they will choke, they'll still say that ozone is good for them. You see? You've been told by your daddy, you know what I'm saying? That ozone is good for you. And it's the exact opposite. Ozone will never be good for you. The entire ozone argument is garbage from start to finish, right up till today. It started with Schonbein in 1834, and it really took off with Tesla and his ozone and the Tesla Ozone Company, which J.P. Morgan has invested in. So we have bankers interested in ground level ozone. We know ground level ozone makes 12.5 million people die every year, and nobody's talking about ozone. Get your shit together, folks. This is going to be a short summer, and I hope I'm wrong, but it's going to be a real quiet one because nobody can fucking scream when they're breathing ozone. It's void of oxygen. You'll fall down. Ozone is the worst thing that you could ever imagine on this planet. The sky alone is being used to kill you. The air that you breathe, the sky above your head. I'm not talking about chem sprays and all that other shit. I'm talking about the manipulation, the enhancement and redistribution of ground level ozone intentionally to make you sick. See this image here of the ozone hole? How it's red? That's the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be blue. It was misleading. NASA intentionally made it blue to confuse you. They're telling you there's an ozone hole there, but it's blue. Ozone is blue. Why is the fucking hole blue? Because they lied to you. That's what they're doing. That was the intention. Don't kid yourself. Keep an eye on the ozone, get on the weather channels, and start asking questions. Demand results, not colors. You don't want a red or a green or an orange as far as the air quality is concerned. You want the numbers. You want what percentage of the air we breathe is ozonated, how much carbon dioxide, how much carbon monoxide. You want to know it all. Don't settle for a simple color on a color graph. Short-term exposure to warm seas and ozone. Cardiovascular mortality, right at the top. I'm not joking. This is heavy-duty shit. This is so big, you're not supposed to know about it. That's how big this is. There was no intention of showing you. The intention was to simply drift it in overhead, make people sick, call it silent corona, get everybody to take an injection, and then keep poisoning them with ozone. Ozone is inexpensive. Ozone is very cheap to produce. An unseen health threat at the top. Unseen, silent, like silent corona or stealth Omicron. Stealth Omicron is ozone exposure. Don't forget it. Everything you've heard in the last 5 years regarding all this garbage about bird flu and all the rest of it is simply ozone exposure. Ozone mimics diseases, so-called diseases like silent corona. That's because silent corona is ozone exposure. That's why the health effects are similar, because it's the same subject. See, they lied to you, and they're still doing it today. And I say to you again, time after time after time, you better get interested in ozone, because it will take your life. The intention is to take your life, not to harm you necessarily, but to literally take your life. Thin out the herd. They tried it one way, they're going to try it another way. Now they're talking about conscription in Canada. They're going to send us all to the Ukraine to fight. Meanwhile, they're killing Canadians with ozone, and they want us to go somewhere else to fight. Everybody knows what's going on at the top, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody knows. They know what's going on. It's beyond obvious. It's intentional, absolutely, and it's beyond obvious. Acute coronary syndrome onset related to short-term ozone exposure. Are you getting the picture? This is fucking serious stuff, man. These fuckers are gonna, whoever runs the world, I'm talking about those guys. I'm not talking about the Americans or the British or whatever the fuck it is. They're all working together at the top to kill as many civilians as they can do and get away with it. They're getting away with it now. They've been doing this for at least 15 years. Killing people. 12.5 million people every year dying from ozone exposure. Where'd all the ozone come from? Oh, it gets produced by blah, 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 blah. Every goddamn story I've heard is garbage. Ozone is being produced intentionally in our atmosphere. They know what they're doing. It's huge, the project. They're producing ozone, they're holding it, they're moving it, and they release it over populated areas. People get sick. That's it. There's nothing else to it. And they're going to keep doing it. Ozone monitor, University of Waterloo. Let's see. Well, let's see. We got, I don't know if this is entirely accurate or not. I've never seen it before. So you read it yourself and tell me what you think, because I'm not in the mood to do this right now. Changing ozone layer. It's not changing. It's being manipulated. There's no hole in the ozone. There may be a hole in the ozone layer. We certainly didn't do it. It happens every year. Every 12 months there's ozone there, or a hole in the ozone layer, because there's no UV light there. It doesn't produce ozone. The sun itself can be regarded as an ozone generator because the sun has a corona, the so-called disease you've been suffering from. Ozone equals 19. Ozone, also known as trioxygen, equals 991, and 9 plus 9 plus 1 is 19. So we know that COVID-19 is a reference to ozone. We know the silent corona is a reference to ozone because you need a silent corona, a tool, to make ozone. We know it's ozone. We know the elites are doing this intentionally, and nobody's catching on. Ozone is regarded as the anti-life. Do you understand? Ozone is void of oxygen. It's the opposite of breathing. Ozone is the opposite of breathing. Ozone is the removal of oxygen from your atmosphere, the replacement of oxygen with ozone. And you don't need much to make you sick. That's for sure. We've seen that a number of times already. What do we got here? Okay, go back to the front. Ozone alert days, New Jersey. Arctic ozone levels. Ozone high pollution advisory for Tuesday, June 10th. Code orange, air unsafe for sensitive groups. It's serious, folks. We're not joking around. You're going to be seeing, if you do like what I do every day, I get up and I search ozone. I hit the search button, then I go to the news button over here, You see the news, and then I start reading. Another one I checked is the tokamak tea, because tokamaks, you've never heard of them before. I got lucky, somebody mentioned it. Tokamaks, a new type of X-point radiator that prevents tokamaks from overheating. These are the new power plants, and guess what? They're also known as ozone generators. You see what's going on now? Every government on the planet today is building an ozone generator. That's corona. The purple light you see is called a silent corona. Just search it. If you search silent corona, you'll see what silent corona is. If you search silent corona and ozone, you'll find that it leads directly to an ozone generator. So I know I'm right. You can look at it from any angle you want. It all points back to ozone and world domination enterprises using ozone to kill you. It's as simple as that. You don't believe it? Don't believe it. There you go. Tokamak. Tokamak Energy gives details of pilot fusion energy plant design. This is your golden dome. This is what they're talking about. Golden dome. As a matter of fact, rockets cannot even penetrate the surface of these things. If you can believe that, that's your golden dome. Rockets don't go through the surface. You can point a rocket directly at it, shoot it, and it would veer off or be destroyed on impact. Yeah, here's your golden dome. China's next gen fusion reactor could achieve first plasma in just 2 years. Well, that's what they're doing now. They've already had these machines have been in operation since the early 70s. Russia has one. Russia's tokamak has been running since 1956, if I'm not mistaken. There's one in Switzerland at that big circular magnetic thing there, running part of the system. It's a tokamak. It's a fusion reactor, extremely hot. And the purple light you see is what's called the silent corona, and the silent coronas always, in every case, produce ozone. Goes on and on. Ozone is the key. You study ozone, and you know, you can leave your belongings to your grandkids or your kids. If not, you won't have anybody to leave them to. So that's all I'm talking about. This is all about ozone. Tokamaks can be considered an ozone generator. So this goes on for hours. You want to keep going? On and on and on. Everybody's doing it. Every country in the world is doing this. Nobody's talking about it. Goes on and on. Tokamak passes 200,000 shots. Tokamak Energy. Scientists produce tokamak plasma. Tokamak Energy. Stunning 3D visualization of nuclear fusion. Well, that's all about ozone. I can tell you right now, because I can show you right now that
silent corona discharge.
See, it's purple, just like the tokamak. It's the same thing. Corona discharge. See, the purple light. Shocking phenomenon. Silent what? Whoa, I've never seen this before. Wow.
A corona discharge is kind of a high voltage brush, little bluish glow discharge.
He's talking about silent corona, your so-called disease. Don't you understand? Silent corona is the process for producing what's making you sick. Ozone. See, it's obvious.
As it was lifting off the ground, you can hear a slight hiss sound. Now, as soon as it...
We're in the year of the snake. And he just said a slight hissing sound. You see what's going on? Ozone is here for a reason. Ozone will be used on the surface population to kill as many civilians as possible. They're already up to 12.5 million every year. That's 550 innocent civilians dying from ozone exposure in 1 minute of every day, all day long. 500. That's mass murder. That's extermination. This is not God doing this. God does not kill innocent civilians, but somebody else does. Yeah, somebody else does. The people that have signed the contract, the people that are now bound by their own signatures, which makes them as guilty as sin itself.
Cleared the ground by about 5 or 10 feet, maybe even less than that. The hissing stopped and the blue goat disappeared. So it lifted off quietly and then it hovered silently, if you want to.
That's what's going on. The vehicles in the sky that I've been talking about for the last 10 years, 12 years, are extremely powerful. They produce ozone, like this gentleman is speaking about. They sit in the clouds. In other words, they hover just off the ground. They're extremely powerful, extremely fast. Go from a standstill. From a standstill, they can be 1,000 feet away in 1/500th of a second. So that's not. It can't be occupied. The vehicle itself can't be occupied if it's moving in that speed. So whoever's doing this is highly skilled and has all the money needed to pull something like this off. And this is not your average guy. This is the top of the pyramid, the very, very top of the pyramid, the very tip. These are the people we're speaking of. Whoever these people are, they're the very top. They know, they have the equipment, they have the information, and they know that if they control what you read, then you're going to fall in love with the ozone layer. You know, if they can control it, then you're going to make love to the ozone layer. It's your fault there's no ozone left. You did it. It's all gone, right? But they're using it to kill you, you see? That's amazing, eh? They pulled this off just using words. That's all they did. We were led into a channel. We were told it was for our benefit, and they began shooting. It's not for your benefit. Ozone is not here for any good use whatsoever. Ozone doesn't have a good use. Ozone kills the elderly and the young and the ones in between, which means everybody gets it. If you're standing beside me and I'm attacked with ozone, you're going to die too. If I'm in the same city as you and you get attacked by ozone, I'll probably get sick too, because they're not just attacking you. They don't want to attack one person. The trick is to kill as many as possible without anybody catching on and before time runs out, because they've already been caught. They've been caught for the last 10 years, and I'm the only fucking guy talking about it. And it's getting kind of tiresome, actually.